What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Equinox Cars. And today we're going to be doing something different. I'm going to show you guys how to get the best deals and find your dream car on Facebook Marketplace. Everybody say hi to Cassie. She's my cat. One of my cats. But anyway, getting back into the video. Let's say you have my dream car, which is an RX-7. So you want to go to Facebook Marketplace, you want to type in RX and 7, and then you hit enter. So a few things will pop up. Here is an FC. That might not be your dream car, but it might be a good second option if you can't afford the FD. So let's take a look at it. He's only asking $5,000. So the first thing I like to look at is the pictures. It's a very nice car. Beautiful. All right. So it's got 128,000 miles, manual transmission, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Then you scroll down, does not run, 5,000 or best offer. Now you might think you just want to click off, but first things first, you want to check to make sure it could be an easy fix or not an easy fix. And this is just for your dream car, by the way, not a daily. You want a good running daily, you don't want to put a lot of money into it. But anyway, it says rotary motor needs rebuild, no compression. Okay, so that means it needs a complete rebuild and it's done. So you might want to stay away from that. But if it was an easy fix, like, you know, there's something like the starter or something wrong with it, then it might be worth your while if it really is, you know, your dream car. So scrolling down again, and the nice thing about Facebook too, by the way, is that other cars in the same genre of cars will pop up. Like, here's a 240 for 10 grand. I'm not gonna pay that much money for a car that should only be 5 grand. But anyway, like, here's a good example. 87 Toyota Supra Turbo. It's a Mark III, but looks pretty solid. The paint doesn't look terrible. It looks like a pretty nice car. So 120,000 miles. It's Toyota, so that's perfectly fine. Runs and drives. Fuel cuts off at higher RPMs. See, this would be good if you could negotiate them down to maybe 4,500 or 5,000, because it does have issues with it. That could be, you know, 500 to thousands of dollars to fix. All right, scrolling down, we see a Nissan 350Z for $8,000, only 40,000 miles. If I had to guess, there's probably something wrong with it. So it's a manual transmission. It looks pretty solid. It's got aftermarket exhaust, and I do live in a state that has emissions tests, so that might not be a good option for me. I'm not sure if it's just a catback or what it is, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking car. Drift ready, oh boy. So this thing has been beaten up probably. So what I mean by beaten up is that people have driven it hard. If you can find these cars owned by like an older person, like a grandma or a grandpa, that is like your best bet, because A, they may not know the price, and I'm not saying go rip them off or anything. You should always be fair with your prices. However, it'll be more taken care of that way, you know, not modified, and that's always better if it's not modified, because you don't know how well it was modified, who was modified by, and if it was tuned or not. So yeah, it looks like it was heavily modified. Pretty good condition. And it's only 8 grand, so it might not be a terrible option. You may have swapped the engine out. It does only have 40,000 miles. But yeah, that's not a bad price for a 350Z right now. And I hate to say that because they should be cheaper, but that's the way life is. All right, now here's a good example of something I would not buy or spend this much on. Is a 1990 Miata. I love Miatas, I really do. Just because I love watching Touge videos and I want to get into Touge, so. But $10,000 for this. It does look pretty clean. It's got quick release steering wheel and all that. Aftermarket seats. It looks like it's been gutted. Cool. All right, so he said he's just throwing it out to test the waters. AC delete, coilovers, blah, blah, blah. So it's been heavily modded. Solid track car. All right. So yeah, I would buy this probably if it runs good, but not for $10,000. Maybe like 4 to 5. That's how much they should be. Like, here's a good example. $5,000 for this Miata. It is an automatic transmission, and I know they're not the best, but oh, I think it might be a manual transmission. Yeah, it is. Huh. Yeah. So this one doesn't look terrible. 100 almost 60,000 miles. Oh, engine needs rebuild. That's why it's so cheap. So yeah, that's no good. Even for that price point, because I bet you I could find a running one for cheaper than that. Like a strong running one that'll last you a long time. Car prices are crazy. Here's a good one, unless there's something wrong with it. $29,000 for a R33 GTST Type M. It does have fake badges on it for the GTR, but you know how that goes. Since we can't technically buy them yet here in the US, don't quote me on that. Engine looks in a little rough, but the outside is pretty clean. 55,000 miles. Got a new ECU, wastegate. So yeah, if you're willing to pay $30,000, then you can have yourself a Skyline that looks like a GTR. All right, and here's another car that I would not pay $9,000 for, especially with 200,000 miles. Is an MR2. This car should probably only be like 5,000 or less. But car prices in my area are like crazy right now. All right, moving on. Let's look at some European cars. How about E36? We'll type that in. I haven't checked on those in a while. Here we go, $6,000 for an 82. Manual transmission. It's a coupe. It's a 320i. That's interesting. Or just a 320. Now this looks like fun, something you could really beat on. Yeah, it looks like everything was upgraded or fixed. So yeah, that's actually not a bad price. It is kind of a collector's item, so yeah. I would probably talk them down to 5,000 or 4,500, but that looks pretty solid. Here's an E30 again. This looks like not too bad. Looks like the back seats were taken out. Engine looks a little rough. Runs and drives fine. It does have a ton of miles though, but it is an older BMW, so they were made a little bit better back then. Here's an M3 with almost 200,000 miles for $11K. I probably wouldn't pay for that, honestly. It's a little beat up. It just has a lot of miles on it for an old M3, and he said it's a project, so it's probably not even worth it. But yeah, you guys pretty much get the idea, right? Like, we're looking up the cars we like and the cars we want. You have to know the lingo and things like that, which I'll talk about maybe in another video for Facebook. But keep in mind too is the distance that you'll be driving. I only have this at 40 miles from my location. If you really want the car, like your dream car or whatever, then you can go ahead and put this up to 250 miles. And that's probably as far as I would go. Unless I had a ton of money, I could just get it shipped to my house or whatever, but you pretty much get the idea. I was gonna save this for another video, but I think this car right here is an absolute sleeper for the price, and it is the Golf GTIs, the Mark IVs, and even the Jettas. They're not the most reliable car in the world, I will say, but these can make pretty decent power. And look at the price tag on it, $1,500 turbo. It is modified and probably beaten on a little bit, but you could definitely, it probably just needs a new transmission maybe. But I mean, for the price, that's not bad. I mean, it's a really lightweight car and you can make a lot of power out of them. I think that these are going to go up in price fairly soon. The same with the older Jettas with the manuals in them and the Mark IVs. See, like, yeah, like look at this guy. He's got a intercooler on there. Yeah, this thing probably makes some power. Let's see in the description. Cold air intake, new spark plugs, AC and heat, which is kind of weird. He's got emissions in hand and everything. How much does he want for it? 3,500 is not bad. Boost to go up and down after 4th gear. Oh, it's got a bad valve on it. Okay. But yeah, still, this thing probably makes quite a bit of power. Yeah, he's got boost gauges and everything, so you know it's aftermarket. But yeah, I think this is the ultimate sleeper car, so don't sleep on it while it's cheap. I'm thinking about buying one. I'm still saving for the Miata, but it's so hard to find one for cheap. I saw one this morning, and it was only $1,800. It just needed a new starter. If I was off of work, I probably would have gotten it. It was only an hour drive from my house. So, but unfortunately, within 30 minutes, it was already going to be picked up, and it's already gone, so. Yeah, you just have to keep searching and be ready. Just be ready on the dot, you know. Take 1 or 2 days, and if you don't find anything you want in those days, just wait for another day. Something will pop up, especially on the weekends. Be patient that you get something good. My truck on Kelley Blue Book is $5,000. I got mine for $3,000. So, and I didn't negotiate or anything. I just waited for the right time. It was owned by an older person, like I said, so it was well taken care of. All I had to do was oil change and spark plugs, and that was pretty much it. It runs perfect. But yeah, that's pretty much how you search on Facebook for cars. We're just gonna look at Miatas real quick before I let you guys go. I just can't believe the prices of these. Here's a decently priced one, but it's an NB and an NA. And it's not stock either. Which is not always a bad thing, as long as it was done correctly. Yeah, you guys get the picture. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel, and maybe I'll do some more content like this in the future. And I'll also do like maintenance on my truck and things like that, and on my project when I buy it. Let me know down below what car I should buy and what you guys want to see next in some new videos. Like and subscribe. This has been Equinox Cars. Peace.